Hey, testing. Oh my gosh, I'm recording again. Yes. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those who are new here, my name is Candace and I am your revenue cycle careerist or enthusiast working in healthcare, and I use this platform to share my experiences and my current and previous roles that I've held as it relates to revenue cycle and my educational journey. I offer mentoring opportunities, and I just really love to chat about what it's like to work in my role. For those who have been waiting patiently for me to upload anything, thank you so much for tuning back in, and thank you to those who have reached out to me to check on me to say, hey Candace, where are you at? Where have you been? Are you okay? I really appreciate all those messages, and I always appreciate your support. So today I'm actually coming to you with a story time. I am going to discuss my experience dealing with a work friend who turned foe. So let's jump right on into it. When I left my last job of over 14 years, I gained not only friends, but family members. We became more than just co-workers, colleagues, or lunch buddies. The women that I have met in my life from that company have really become my village. They are my sisters. We became each other's mentors, confidants, allies, and even Bible study partners in one of the roles that I had. We would go have Bible study once a week on a Tuesday, in fact, for 30 minutes during our lunch period to fellowship together. So it was really nice to have those genuine friendships like that at work. And it's funny because when you are that tight with somebody, you don't really, at least for me, you don't really want to let your boss or any higher ups know how tight you are, because I've seen it backfire. I have seen a leadership opportunity missed because the director at the time did not feel that my colleague or a very good friend of mine would be respected if she moved into that managerial position that had just been posted. The director felt like she wouldn't be able to delegate and carry out leadership duties due to her close working relationships with not only her colleagues, but also with the two friendships that she had, including me, within that department. So after witnessing that, and when I left that role and left that company, moving forward, I say, okay, Candace, when I start this new job, I am not here to make friends. I'm here to work and focus on my career. So now we're going to fast forward to my current role in the job that I started back in June. So after getting to know my colleagues on a professional level for, I'd say, about a month or so, I connected with someone who had a similar background. She had her RHIT. So here I have somebody that has a HEMA certification versus an AAPC certification. We did not work side by side together. She was in a different role with a different boss. However, we were under the same umbrella, under the same VP. So she already had her RHIT. She had just finished her bachelor's program in HIM, and she was studying for her RHIA at the time. She had several AAPC certifications, and she's also an LPN. So she has a great background and she has so much experience. And I just knew that it would be great to get to know her and work with her, really just to learn, especially with that clinical expertise as I'm stepping back into a CDI focused type of work. So we're going to call her Katie moving forward. Now I have to admit, I'm very naive. I thought I could trust Katie 100%. Katie and I used to joke all the time about AAPC versus a HEMA and how it's a thing, especially when it comes to our company. The differences in the credentials really affected any movement within the company, and it used to bother us a lot. We used to vent about that. Katie shared her frustrations with the job, and I decided to share mine with her. So we share some of the same frustrations with our role when it came to the scope of work, the change in job descriptions, and the lack of direction and understanding from leadership as it relates to revenue cycle and what those processes are and how that will benefit the practices. She complained about her boss and my boss. I had some of the same complaints, but more so about my boss at the time, and it was mostly how much I disliked my job and how unhappy I was, and I have to emphasize that. So now we're going to fast forward to December, and it was around this time there were discussions about the scope of our work. And there was one particular meeting I was in with just me, my boss, and her boss. And in that meeting, my boss says to me, you should be careful about what you share with people and who you are talking to, especially if you are unhappy. And I sat there in silence, and I immediately knew she was talking about Katie. They knew it, my boss and her boss, and I knew it. You know how you're kind of talking to somebody through the camera, like if you're on a Zoom call and there may be 12 people on the call, but you have that one coworker that you're cool with, and there's somebody presenting is talking about something. You sitting there like, you know what, this is some BS, and you're looking at the camera and you know that they're looking back at you. You're trying to read facial expressions. So when I asked my boss, was it Katie? I knew that she knew that I knew it was Katie, if that makes sense. So, of course, my boss at the time said she couldn't share that information. And at this point, I am boiling inside. It's taking everything in me not to start crying. I've said it repeatedly on my channel. I am a crybaby. I was so angry. I was very angry because pretty much everything that I vented to her about had been repeated in other meetings to God knows who, but for sure it had been, she had repeated that information to her boss, who then told my boss, and that's how it kind of circled back. And what's crazy and frustrating is that Katie felt the same way that I did. So for her to go back and repeat only the things that I said when she has the same feelings and has said the same things, and really honestly worse. I mean, she really dogged out her manager, but I would never repeat that information. So that's what was frustrating. And I couldn't believe that I had been stabbed in the back like that. And I was like, if coworkers talk behind somebody's back, okay, cool. That's not what I do, but if y'all do that, you can leave that on the playground. But to repeat things I said when you feel the same exact way is really the definition of a two-faced person. So immediately after that, I cut off all communication with her. And she definitely caught my cold behavior. About a week later, I'd say, Katie messaged me and she says, should I say a prayer for you this afternoon? Meeting with so-and-so, ? Meaning with her boss and my boss. And I read that and I was like, first of all, why are you in my business? To be that detailed, to look on the calendar and see who people are meeting with and then question them about it, I thought was weird. She got too comfortable with sending me that type of message, and that was my fault. So I ignored the message and never responded. So then the next day I saw that she had deleted that message, and I hate when I let things sit on me. So I said, you know what? I need to respond back to her. So I sent her a text. I said, hi Katie, I saw your messages, which have now been deleted. I didn't respond right away because it threw me off guard since I never mentioned having a meeting with them. Thank you for asking. All is good. Enjoy your holidays. So yeah, this was definitely it was around Christmas time. And her response was, no biggie, deleted because it was a dumb thing to ask. I saw it on my boss's calendar when looking for a time to call her. Just worried about you because I know you are unhappy. And boom. There's that unhappy word again. I said, oh yeah, I'm done with her. I'm completely done. I had just never felt so betrayed. And it was unfortunate because it's nice to be able to connect with someone that I could vent to who felt the same way I did, because at least I know, it's not just me. Others feel the same way too. But I had to cut that off after I realized she had been going behind my back. And this is an older lady. Like, she got grandkids. And for her to be doing all this, like she on the playground, I'm just like, that was kind of mind-boggling too. I'm like, you old miserable. But anyway, so every other blue moon, she has reached out to me for a random question at work. Not often. And when she asks how things are going, I respond with fine, the same, or good. But you know, ever since then, I've just kept it real cute and classy. I just don't have any conversation for her because I don't trust her. And it's difficult not having anyone to vent to, because I can't talk to my husband about issues that's going on at work, especially if I'm getting into the weeds with processes for revenue cycle. He has no clue on what I'm talking about. He just nods and agrees with everything that I say, as he should. So my good sis always tells me that when someone shows you their true colors, you just have to know where to place them and how to move around them. And I've learned my lesson for sure when it comes to that person and those situations overall. I have to make sure I am focused. I'm here to work. I'm not here to make friends. Always keep it 100% professional. And it's just such a different environment. I don't know if it's because I'm doing remote work now versus going into the office every day and really seeing that person and building those relationships versus working remotely. I do think that has something to do with it. But again, it's a lesson learned for me. So if you got to the end of this video, please leave a comment. And I'm curious to hear if any of you struggle with balancing working relationships versus friendships, or if you have similar situations to mine. So thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time.